Students, moving to question. In a transformer, the number of turns of primary coil and secondary coil are 5 and 4 respectively. This question is from NTSC Kerala 2017 to 18 academic year. Okay, so let us see what is transformer. It's a device where we are changing the voltage input using the phenomena of magnetic induction. These are the turnings, these are the coils. Okay, wire is wrapped here, and this circuit is called as primary circuit. This is primary circuit. Okay, and primary circuit is having number of turns as equals to 5. This is 5 turns. Okay, similarly we have a secondary coil. Secondary coil is the output which we are getting here. This is secondary coil, and here we are saying as output. Primary is the input coil, secondary circuit. Okay, this overall setup is called as transformer. This overall setup is my transformer device. Okay, so we can say here how many turns are there? 4 turns are there. This is V input and this is V output. Output means we are getting result. Input means we are supplying. So whatever we are getting in, okay, some part of it is getting out. Okay, so according to question, number of turns are 5 and 4. We can say if n represents number of turn, n of primary is equals to 5, which is more than n of secondary, which is equals to 4 turns. Okay, question is, if 240 volt is applied to the primary coil, input voltage is 240 volt. The ratio of current in primary coil and secondary coil is. Okay, question is asking about I primary upon I secondary. This is what we have to find out. So we are applying transformer equation. Also one thing may be doubtful, that this is the alternating supply or direct supply. See, transformer always works for AC supply. Supply means we are talking about input. If input is alternating in nature, definitely output will be also alternating. And why this is alternating supply? Because if magnetic flux will change, then only current is going to induce. If direct supply will be there, there is no change in flux. So no induction effect will be there. Okay, so we are applying transformer equation. So using transformer equation, V secondary upon V primary equal to N secondary upon N primary. This is my transformer equation. How much it is coming? 4 by 5. This is first equation. Second is, there is nothing told about the power loss or energy loss. If nothing is given, means we will assume 0 power loss. Okay, so next one is assuming 0 power loss. Assuming 0 power loss, whatever power input is there, we are getting as power output. And what is power input? This is I primary, V primary equal to power output is I secondary and V secondary. Okay, so let us see, I primary upon I secondary can be calculated from here. This is I primary upon I secondary equal to V secondary upon V primary. And yes, here we have ratio as 4 by 5. So final answer is 4 by 5, means here if current is equals to, for example, just I am taking a random example, suppose current is equals to 10 ampere. Okay, if you are assuming, then secondary will be 5 by 4 times. Okay, means 1.25 into 10 ampere. This is the meaning. So current is getting more value as that of primary. Okay, that is the meaning here. If you check voltage, voltage secondary is smaller than voltage primary. Okay, we are getting as output voltage less than input voltage. Okay, such type of transformer is called a step down transformer. So this problem is based on step down transformer. Okay, this is the type of transformer where we are getting output voltage less than input voltage. Correct answer is option 3. Students, moving to next question. When a glass rod rubbed with silk is brought near the cap of an electroscope. What is electroscope? It's a device through which we can measure properties of electrical charge. As the name suggests, electro and a scope. Electro means electrical properties and scope means measurement. The question is from NTSC Kerala 1718. Okay, options are, they are talking about leaf, how leaf will behave, what kind of charge is going to induce. Positive charge is induced or negative charge is induced or both charges induced or no charge is getting induced. Okay, let us see. So first we will draw electroscope setup. Okay, it's a glass container. This is a glass container where this is my metallic knob. This is metal knob. Here we have a metallic strip. This is a metallic strip. It is bifurcated. Bifurcated means going into two parts, splitting into two parts. Okay, this is a glass container. This is leaf. Okay, and this is my metal strip. Okay, fine. This complete setup is my electroscope. Now what we are doing, a glass rod is taken. Okay, and this is rubbed with a silk cloth. Suppose this is my silk cloth and here we have a glass rod. Okay, so once we rub rod with silk cloth, depending on which one is more electronegative in nature, rod or cloth. Okay, one of them loses electron and other will gain electron. Answer is glass rod. Glass rod quickly loses electrons. Okay, as electron is lost, means silk cloth will gain electron, and because of gain in electron there will be negative charge on silk cloth and so positive charge on glass rod, such that equal number of positive has to be balanced with equal number of negative charges. Why? Because overall initially they were neutral. Now this glass rod we are bringing here close to this metallic knob. This is containing positive charges. Okay, so because of charging by induction, because of charging by induction, the knob is getting minus charge. Getting or not? Here it is not important that equal plus will induce equal minus. No. Why? Because these two are two different part of the system, but this is a part of same system. Okay, whatever loss of electrons is there, same is the gain of electrons. But here we have charging by induction, so we may represent more number of plus charges here. Okay, as metallic strip were neutral, here some minus is induced, means here some equal plus will induced, and because of same type of charge, the angle between the leaf will increase. Theta will increase depending how large this plus charge is there. Okay, so conclusion is leaf is having same type of charge and induced positive charge. Option 4th one is the correct answer. Students, moving to next question. We have question based on assertion and reasoning type. The purpose of the question is two statements are given where one of them is assertion and another is reasoning, where statement 2 is representing explanation of statement 1. Okay, it may be possible that assertion is not belonging to reason. This is reason may be of some another type of problem. So we have to check, considering the above, whether both assertion and reasoning are true, or reasoning is the correct explanation of assertion or not, or both are true and reasoning is not the correct explanation, or both assertion and reasoning are false, or assertion is false and reasoning is true. Okay, so this is a kind of aptitude type of problems. Okay, So coming to the statement, the phenomenon of total internal reflection. What is total internal reflection? Okay, total means whatever the optical phenomena is going on, there is 100% reflection. Total internal reflection means 100% reflection, and 100% reflection means surface will behave as mirror. Okay, in general, whenever a light incident to a surface, some of the light may transmit to the other medium and some of the light may reflected. Okay, general phenomena may have reflection as well as transmission. Okay, but according to question, we have 100% reflection occurs only when incident light ray travels from denser medium to rarer medium. They are asking about condition. Yes, this statement is true. Let us see how. Suppose we are drawing another ray. Suppose this angle is equals to 30 degree and 30 degree. Okay, fine. Suppose another ray we incident at 20 degree such that this ray is incident at 20 degree such that refracted ray is like this angle is 90 degree. Refracted angle is 90 degree. If we are writing mu is equals to 1 and mu is equals to mu, okay, where mu is more than 1, from Snell's law we should definitely say applying Snell's law, we can definitely say mu into sine 20 is equals to 1 into sine of 90 degree. Getting or not? The product is equals to 1. Okay, we can think like this. Okay, and this is less than 1. You think whatever mu is there, okay, sine 20, okay, equal to 1 by mu, and this is less than 1, or we can say this implies mu is more than 1. So yes, if mu is more than 1 means light incident on denser medium, okay, and going to rarer medium. And this angle, okay, this angle of incidence for which emergence is at angle of 90 degree, this angle is called as critical angle. This angle is called as critical angle, and if we increase this factor, you check here, if you increase this sine value, this will be constant only for 90 degree. But if you increase this one, okay, mu is a constant, LHS is not going to balance by RHS. Means if angle will be more than 20 degree, okay, this equation is not getting balanced, means there will be no refraction. So we are having reflection at 30 degree. Yes, this statement is true. Reasoning is when the light ray travels from denser medium to rarer medium, the refracted ray bends away from the normal. Yes, this is correct from Snell's law. So this is also true. And because of this bend away from normal, this angle is coming as 90 degree. So yes, both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of assertion. This question came in NTSE Karnataka 1718. So student, first one is the correct answer. Students, moving to next question. To prepare a compound microscope, what's meaning of compound microscope? See, we have a simple microscope where magnification is there. Okay, microorganism like bacteria can be seen, but compound microscope has a larger value for magnification. Okay, because of larger value of magnification, it is used in labs where we have two focal length or two types of lenses. They are asking type of lenses used are. So let us draw. This is convex lens. This is also convex lens, such that first one is objective. Objective means lens corresponding to object, and this is my eyepiece. Eyepiece means lens near to the eye. So close to this lens we have observer. This is my observer, and somewhere here my object will be there. So lens corresponding to object is objective, lens corresponding to eye is eyepiece. As objects are very small, that's why this length, this is aperture diameter, is small for objective and large for eyepiece. We are writing aperture diameter. This is called as aperture diameter. Aperture diameter. D for eyepiece. D means diameter, E means eyepiece. is more than diameter for objective. Okay, let us see what they are asking. Eye lens is a convex lens of comparatively low focal length, and object lens, this is objective, is a convex lens of comparatively higher focal length. Okay, they are talking about to compare focal length of both lenses. Okay, so we have a result. This complete setup is my compound microscope. This complete setup is compound microscope. So one thing is clear, that both are having convex lens and convex lens. Okay, now we have to compare focal length. Okay, there is a standard result that eye lens is having larger focal length. This is having higher focal length. Here focal length is comparatively higher than objective. So result, if eye is having higher focal length as compared to objective, let us see which option is matching. Eye lens is convex lens, comparatively higher focal length, then object lens is convex lens of comparatively lower focal length. Yes, option 3 is correct. We are not having concave lens, 2 is wrong. We are not having concave lens, 4 is wrong. In 1 and 3, 3 is the correct answer because of focal length comparison. They are not asking aperture diameter comparison. If they are asking, this is my answer, and question belongs to NTSC Karnataka 1718. Okay, students. Students, moving to next question. We have two convex lens A and B, each of focal length 30 centimeter. Both are identical type of lenses, focal length equal to 30 centimeter and 30 centimeter. Separated by 30 centimeter gap as shown in the figure, an object O is placed at a distance of 40 centimeter to the left of lens A. Okay. Question is, what is the distance of the final image formed by this lens system? So here for this object some image will form. We don't know this image will be between these two or after this. Just have taken a random diagram, and then that image will act as an object for second lens. So this is a kind of two lens system. Okay, so the concept is all about, let us see concept. Image I1 will act as object for lens B. Object for lens B. So let us find I1. We are writing applying lens formula. Applying lens formula with proper sign convention. This is 1 upon f equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. What is focal length? It is plus 30 equal to v. We don't know. U will become as minus of 40 centimeter from sign convention as we are moving in minus direction. So minus of 1 upon minus 40. Okay, this will become plus. Let us take to the LHS. This is 1 by 30 minus 1 by 40 equal to 1 by v, or this implies 1 by v equal to, here LCM will be 120. Okay, this is 4 minus 3 equal to 1 upon 120. So I1 is located at a distance of 120 from here, means 90 centimeter from lens B. This is I1. This is incorrect, so I am erasing this part. Okay, students. So we can say that whatever the light will be there, okay, this is my incident ray, it will refract and try to converge at this point. This is my ray diagram where this light ray will converge for point I1. That is the meaning. But this is also a converging lens. As the converging lens is there, or we can say power for the convex is positive, means it will converge before only. Yes or no? Means final image will form somewhere here I2. This is the virtual object. This will act as a virtual object. Okay, so solving for lens B, again applying same formula for lens B. Okay, focal length is again 30 only. V we don't know. U is plus 90. This is plus 90. This implies 1 by V equal to 1 by 30 plus 1 by 90. Okay, how much it is coming? 1 by V equal to 90 is LCM. Okay, this will be 3 plus 1. this implies V equal to 90 upon 4. 90 upon 4 means 45 upon 2, 22.5 centimeter. From where? From B. 22.5 centimeter from B. This is the meaning. So finally, how much is this distance? 22.5 centimeter to the right of lens B. Option 3 is the correct answer, and question belongs to NTSC stage 2 2018. Okay, stage 2 is the paper where those students are only allowed who are clearing stage 1, means this is a good question as compared to stage 1 papers.